Good morning, people. It's Friday morning, Friday the whatever it is of March, the 13th of March. Oh my God, Friday the 13th. Be careful, guys, if you're superstitious. Anyway, gold. Been studying gold quite a lot from about midday yesterday, and talking about what I thought it might do and trade-wise. Once again, guys, never trade my suggestions. Just make your own analysis. And today's trade all done and dusted, and I'll show you what I did. So we can draw a few lines on. As always, I tend to do this just to tune my brain up to the market conditions, as it were, or what's going on. So above us, this is yesterday's high and yesterday's low, and then we want to put levels in that might affect the price. So going down, that old daily support there would affect price, and we can clearly see it did do. I mean, you can do the weekly and monthly, but in this instance, I was bullish anyway. So you might have guessed I took a long, and anything above the price, support wise, in other words the bottom of old daily candles, would affect our movement upwards. So you can see there's clear air from where we are now to these daily lows, so monster potential moves. But having said that, look at the state of that massive candle there. But next chart we need to look at is H4, and do the same for H4 candles. Excuse me, previous H4 high. Obviously we'd need to break that if we were to go longer, and likewise the low would need to break through that. So these are going to be areas of interest, in my opinion. Previous H4 to that. Excuse me, I'm still croaky with this cold. That H4 high. And we do need to be aware of anything on the left hand side as well. Excuse me, there and there, and obviously those two there as well, the red and the green. I know it looks messy, guys, but on the H4, but I've taken loads of rubbish off my charts at the moment to try and let the dog see the rabbit, or whatever that expression is. So H1, now we're getting interesting. Very interesting, in fact, because what I could see had happened just before my trade was the H1 high had broken, and this is very interesting. Look, the high is 1579, and the close of that candle is 1579. Come on. 1586. Sorry, I'm on the wrong candle. 1579.1. That had closed above the previous H1 candle to, it's just turned, that's why. No, it has. In fact, no, it hasn't. So what we had here, apologies, was a break prior to me waking up. And then the new candle prior to the candle that I actually took the trade on continued up, Won't bother with the M30, don't need to. So that was the pullback there. And remember, I talked in the previous video, if you've watched that, about price using the lower time frame trends to enter the higher time frame trades. So in fact I missed this trade obviously because I was asleep, not obvious but I was, and then I could see we had another pullback. So this would have been a valid trade here somewhere. We could have got in. We'd had our close that I talked about, then we'd had a pullback here prior to me waking up even, then we'd had a continuation. So that's where I would have wanted to take the trade in a perfect world. And then we had another pullback forming, and then on the 15-minute we had the continuation signal. And this is the high, the low, the lower high, the lower low. And on the 5-minute we can see all of this clearer. There's the high, the lower high, the lower low. I stuck my level on that high and basically wanted to trade the break of that. Let's drag the trade onto the chart. Apologies, that's not the right one. Oh, it is, yes it is, sorry. So I actually was happy to trade the break of that 5-minute high, and I took the trade to the H4 high. And as you know, sorry, that's not an H4 high. Actually, there is an H. I thought I've drawn an H4 high there. That's S. Oh yeah, it is an H4 high hiding behind there. Oh, it's just this is broken. I thought that might be possibly S1, but my confusion is this thing overwrites the something on this indicator overwrites the line, which made it look like a S2 or S1 or S something support. So yeah, that was the trade there. 25 pips net of spread. So that's it, guys. That's this morning's trade. Support and resistance, trend analysis. You know, there's no doubt loads of other stuff I could have added into this that made me like it to the high side, long side. Well, actually there is clearly a set of ascending trend lines, and we could draw descending ones in there, but basically the line analysis is what drive, and the indicator is what drives my decision, using all the higher time frames. So obviously trend lines are discretionary. How you draw them is entirely up to you, but I've shown you how I draw mine. We couldn't do anything connecting here because we hadn't broken that high when I entered the trade, so all we could really do was just use well, I suppose it comes from experience, and I do really think this is still going long. So but again, you know, don't, because remember, and this is, I suppose this is quite critical, when we get these major changes to the indicators, and once again you can see that divergence there on both sets of indicators. This was taken into account again, but that divergence was around yesterday in the previous video I've stuck up here. So you can't unlearn this stuff, I'm afraid. You can unlearn the rubbish, but I don't consider any of this to be rubbish, of course. So that's it, guys. You know, just keep on watching and practicing, or just practicing. You don't need to watch my videos, that's not obligatory. another descending trend line here. Tighten that up, because I always do this because these are areas that will potentially attract the price, and there are areas that will potentially stop the price. So it's always wise, in my opinion, to get every tool in your toolbox on your chart if you can. Okay, 25 pips, 5 times my daily requirement on Friday the 13th of March. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.